Okay. Good morning. We're actually just finishing Tafresh and Vav. Just two other quick points, which are which is important, which the place can bring down, is a discussion about if let's say is there any idea of mekachtos by an esrog, a little armenian. I mean, if you buy it, so the case that Himagadim brings is that you buy the esrog, and time when you go to use it, it's all it's puzzle. So it's rotten, something, whatever it is. So the question is that can you claim mekachtos and go back and get your money back? Now what they say is, okay, you sort of just there is a discussion. You have to that it is a discussion on Choshen Mishpah. Like if you buy wine and it turns out the wine is spoiled. So the question that you have to know, like, how spoiled is it, and when it's a discussion on Choshen Mishpah. Person, Rav has to judge, or Lion has to judge about, would have to judge about would this type of psul could have happened, by the mocher, or something that could have happened, by the lokeach. For example, he takes out of the box the pitum. He hasn't taken it out of the box since he bought it, and then the pitum's off. So it's a question. It could be it was cracked before. Whatever. These things are complicated. In general, we don't say. We wouldn't say in general to say mekachtos. Like I said, the case is where it was rotten, but rotten because if it's rotten, it's something which is so that's something which could have. Then you have to judge: did it happen by the mocher? Was it already started to be rotten by the mocher? Or moldy or whatever it is. But something which is broken, it'd be very hard to prove otherwise. But hiddur, the thing with hiddur is, obviously if you pick your esrog out, and so then there's no mekachtos over there. You can't say, well, I didn't realize, whatever. You picked it out and you saw it, you examined it. Unless he gave it to you, he say, here, this is a good one, and put it in the box here. But component person, and even then, you had a chance to look at it. For hiddur, it's not so pasha. The question about closed boxes, there's two questions. One is shaila about closed boxes. There was a discussion in the poskim that people used to buy crates of esrogim, like coming from Italy, whatever it was. And so let's say the crates are half of them are rotten or something like that. So he doesn't know, but you buy a crate, open it up, and see what's there. So the poskim say that there is a discussion in Choshen Mishpah Reish Tes about buying something which is einim basuyim, as like buying a storage locker that you don't know the contents. So on that, there is a discussion in the poskim about whether that's called an smachta, and it's not kanya, it's not koine, or it's called so what's the din? So the lemais is that the poskim, that's Aruch Shlomo over there. The Shlomo Kluger says that there's no, since they're both mochel, since both it's not exactly gambling or something like that. Since neither of them knows what's in it, so therefore it's there's no question. There's not a question there of a type of the reason smachta doesn't work, because it's a person. For example, a person says that if I'm going to give you money if elephants run down the street. So there's a discussion beyond or not, but if elephants run down the street, he's not high because he doesn't really want to give him the money. He doesn't really expect elephants to run down the street. But the elephant runs down the street. So the guy takes the money. It's not. He really wasn't planning to give him the money. He was just saying it. So then it's a vak ezel. The Ram says it's a vak ezel. But if they both don't know, it's something with the Ramah says they both don't know. So then there's no problem. Chacham Shlom over there in Choshen Mishpah says buying a crate of esrogim. It's not an asmachta, and you're koine it. Questions by a closed box nowadays. I think it's different than buying. I think it could be even more. It's more of a less of a shaila of asmachta, because it's not like you're buying a container of a box of esrogim. You expect there's one specific esrog in there, right? And it has a sticker aleph, whatever it is. That you're buying a certain ramah, a certain level of an esrog, so it's not going to be rotten. If it's rotten, then and it's not kosher because it is checked over, then that's clearly mekachtos, and it's clear your kinyan tzchal. Question is for hither, if it's not aleph, aleph, that already, that is a shaila. If the general policy is, if they say you could take if the Rav says that it's not mahuder, it's not going whatever. So then again, that's also not that's not an asmachta, because you can because you expect, okay, I'm going to get something out of it, But achopanim, I think it's different than the shaila about the creative esrogin. Even the creative esrogin, that already the priest can say you are koine it, and whatever you get. Tafish in Zion. Katan hayodea l'nanei lulav kedina. A katan who knows how to do nanuim, aviv chayav liknas a lulav k'dei l'chancha b'mitzvah. So if his father is chayav to go ahead and to buy him a lulav, the question is, what is the age of nanuim? So there's a general thing about chinuch. Is people say, oh, he's gil chinuch. Is it the same thing as saying he knows nanuim? What gil chinuch, and the Mishnah Berurah says, is 6, 7 years old, something like that. But there's another question: is there gil chinuch for what? For example, tefillin. The gil chinuch for tefillin is right before his bar mitzvah. You don't say, well, he's 7 years old, he's gil chinuch, he can go ahead and he should go ahead and put tefillin on. The idea of gil chinuch is that that's when we start trying to train him in the mitzvahs. Losa says even younger, right? A kid who's 3 turns on to turn a light on Shabbos. You can tell him, no, don't turn the light on, right? And then the gil chinuch or not, if he understands no, no, don't, then that's enough, that he can go ahead and you can mechanech him losa. But the gil chinuch means from that point on you can start making mechanech him. Now the question is, does he know how to do nanuim? So that's the thing. He knows how to do nanuim. So that it could be already 7, 8 years old. He knows that you can give him you should teach him how to go ahead and if he knows how to do it. The Brisker Rav held that has to be he knows how to do nanuim like properly. That doing it like this and shaking it and that, like Mamish understands understands how to do proper nanuim. The Mishnah Berurah says the question is so it's the Fia Inyan. The question is, what about buying him? When it says Chayav liknas a lulav, so what age you Chayav to kaina him lulav? So in Europe, the poskim said in Europe that who had love in esrogim. So therefore, it was, they said, okay, chinuch is enough that you could be mashal him. You could go ahead, or not mashal, because we'll see in a minute you can't have a problem getting it back. But Orach Chaim, the father would hold the lulav and esrog together with the kid and do nanuim, and he wouldn't be machnet to him, but he'll teach him how to do it. However, they say nowadays that there's plenty of love in the esrogim, so you should buy your kid, but you don't only have to buy your kid. First of all, it's for chinuch. You don't have to buy him a mahuder one. There's no reason to buy him a mahuder one. 2 is that even Shabura says that what is the din of knowing how to do nanuim is that that we're talking about someone, not only does he know how to shake it, but the kid's old enough to sit in shul and to come to shul and do and be like the tzibur and do nanuim with Hallel and I don't know, Hoshanas maybe, I don't know, it says Hallel because Hallel is the ikr. It's brought down, that's the ikr nanuim is by Hallel. So if he can't do the ikr mitzvah of nanuim, it doesn't mean he knows how to shake a lulav. Then you wouldn't be chayiv to go ahead and to buy him a lulav and esrog. If your kid doesn't go to shul, I don't know. If your kid, technically he could do it, but he's 12 years old and he just doesn't know how to get up. I don't know. That's for Shaila, whether you're chayiv to buy for him or not, I don't know. Listen, it's 30, it's at 30, 40 shekel here. I don't know if it was in America. for that you hope that he'll convince him to get up. I don't know. That's Aruch Chaim. But Al Panim, a kid who knows, the person should put money out to go ahead and to buy it for him. And you could even buy him, to buy him a hitter one, you're not chayiv to, but, it's nice for a kid to make a kid feel good if he has a he has a nice Lulav esrog, not one which is full of dots, and then whenever you want to, it's nice to give him the hadar mitzvahs also. Yeah.
But knows how to do now knowing that he doesn't want to make a bracha. Is this the same now knowing as the grace?
No, this is the reason how to make a bracha. A kid who's 6 years old can do that knowing because he doesn't know how to say brachas properly. Or let's say he's charif. Let's say he's physically very skilled, right? But he does not. It takes a while to say brachas. It takes a while. So he's 4 years old. He knows how to. He's very geschikt and he knows how to do nanuim well, but he doesn't know how to make a bracha. So that could be.
To hold it and the yod say.
It's nanuim. Not even that. Even that's not the bris. Yeah, Nanuim. Mr. Garav said it has to be knows how to do Nanuim 100%. And every other place would hold that Nanuim, like you said, it's holding it up, but it doesn't mean just holding it. It means that's Natila. Nanuim means he knows how to at least do something. Go to the directions, but knowing how to do it, because it's the machlokes about how to do it, and whether you have to go ahead and do it to your chest or do it this way and shake it and that. Truth is, there's a lot of even adults don't know how to know him, but we give him a little bit of anyway. At least he can make hava. Tafish and Ches. The Lulav Yontav Rishon. Aleph min HaTorah ein mitzvahs Lulav chutz min l'mikdash el Yom Rishon. The deraisa of Arba Minim is on Yom Rishon chutz l'mikdash. Orach Chaim tiknu shehei nita b'chol makom kol shiva, and there was the Yomi ben Zakkai said we should all be prepared to be in the mikdash for 7 days. So therefore, he was a sakin in the Medina to go ahead outside Beis Hamikdash to go ahead and to do Lulav esrog all 7 days. Now is an interesting thing. The Rambam holds nowadays that the mikdash applies nowadays also. So therefore, people will go to the Kaisel since it's next to the mikdash. The minig, the hitter minig that the Mekayim Shitas Rambam to do nanuim on your araminim or take your araminim with you to the kaisel and to do nanuim to Mekayim Shita of the Rambam that mikdash is even nowadays.
It's all Yerushalayim. Right?
Yeah, he thinks it is all Yerushalayim. Correct. I think it is all Yerushalayim. But what's all Yerushalayim? It means by the old city. It means people don't walk around in the middle of Gula with Lulav esrog. It means close to the mikdash. What about Yom Tov Sheni? Is the same din for Chutz La'aretz, even though it's a suffix. But we have they're also machmer. We're also machmer like kilu. It's the deraisa for all these dinim. If first day of Shabbos, let's see Beis. The Yom Shabbos. If the first day is Shabbos, ain't a noitel. You don't take the Lulav, and that's what you feel in Yom Rishon. Even if it's Yom Rishon, it's deraisa. Chaim Bergoizer Shema, he's going to be moitzi it, and therefore they asked him to take a Yom Rishon, just like by Shofar. Hagava also the Talta Lulav v'Shabbos. Not only it's also it's muktzah. The Havi Ke'evan, it's like an Evan. What can be used for? About esrog mutter betiltul that you can move an esrog around the roy lariach. Like we said, you can make a bracha on Shabbos and you can smell it. So therefore, it's not muksa. But also litno ala beged afilu b'yamtiv. The moler reicha is a stav aside din that it's also taken esrog because esrog smell good. You have to be nizhar to put it on. You want to put it on top of a towel. Put it on top of any beged because it's called moler reach bebeged, and it's like a type of tikkun moneh of yimesakin the kli, and that was a problem on Shabbos and Yom Tov, so a person should be careful. Gimel ain't adam yotzi leichavotzav Yom Rishon belulav shechaveru sheyashilu. Now we're going to get into a lot of choshen mishpat tikdinim, which a person is not cannot be yotze his chayva by borrowing his friend's arbamini, because it says lachem, chachtem lachem. It has to be yours. Debeina lachem, misha lachem, and the sheila is not yours. Afil amar lo yehei shelcha ad shetetzei boy. And then he says, well, it's going to be yours until you go ahead and you yotze with rachach yehei sheli kivetchila. Then it's going to be mine. Lo yatsa. Habi kamo shol. Yinasa levamatana muter. But if you gave him with the matana as a matana, a straight matana, that's going to work. But to say yehei shachar chetetzi bo is a problem, because the Gemara in the Darim says that there's a long Ran over there. It talks about that kedusha is not paka be'chidi. Something with, there's no such thing as someone being mekadosh a woman saying, now you're kadeshes to me for 2 days and then then you're not. Once kedusha is chal, then it doesn't. You have to do. It doesn't go away. So too over here, no such thing as a kinyan which just evaporates. You have to go ahead and be machne it back. Now there's a discussion, because that's like show. Even if you say you're trying to do a kinyan, but it won't work. Now the achronim have a discussion about this in Hilchos Matana. There's the machlokes ksais and the sivis about the ksais is a chiddush. He holds, is there such a thing as a kinyan of ownership lizman? Not schirus. Actual kinyan lizman. The ksais over there in the Reish Mem Aleph is here. It's mashra from the Mechaber that there's no such thing as a kinyan lizman. Then the Sivis over there agrees with the Mechaber. The ksais is cholek, and the ksais says that there is such a brings a bunch of rayas from the Ran, whatever Ayin Sham, that he says that there can be such a thing as a matana lizman, and he fully owns it, and he can go ahead and say it goes back. Then the Sivis says, no, what do you mean? He says, no such thing as kinyan lizman. Either you're maked in it or you're not. No such thing, that's not paka b'chti. So therefore, he holds you have to go ahead and make a proper kinyan back to the owner. If you don't make a proper kinyan back to the owner, then the owner can't be yodse with the luvanesser, with the arbaminim. The ksais is a chiddush, and the l'chara he also says nafkaminas by cotton. We'll see in a minute. If you give a cotton on Nasa Hachzir, the ksais is al Talam Nasa Hachzir, it can just go back without you making a new kinyan. The Siva tells you make a new kinyan. So the ksais says that by a cotton, if you give a cotton on Talam Nasa Hachzir, it can snap back to him automatically, and therefore he can't do it with a cotton where the Siva holds you can't, and so too for the Mechaber as well. So it's something that the person shouldn't talking about their rights here. You should not rely on the ksais, and you should be sure to machne it back. There's a different question is if he says shoyel, but he really means matana v'nasa hachzir. He doesn't know the halachas. Here, you can borrow it. So what's the din? So the Magen Avraham brings a raya by kedushin. That if you lend it, it has to be the chassan's ring. If it's not the chassan's ring, then it doesn't work. It has to be his own money. So let's say his grandmother here. I'm lending you my fancy wedding ring. It's in the family for years and years here. I'm lending it to you to go ahead and be mekadosh with it. So it works. The Chachamim say it works because so there's two possible understandings. One is that the Magen Avraham over here, and it seems to be Shmuel over there, the Mishnah brings, hold that Echad She'elo works. It's like the idea of kinyan hamoyel, that it doesn't really mean She'elo. So whatever type of kinyan works, that's what he means. And so it's not Bahamas She'elo, it's a matana, whatever it is, that's what he meant. And it's the idea of kinyan hamoyel, that a person wants this to work. So the Chachamim say he doesn't mean sheila, it's just he misspoke. It means whatever kinyan works. The Aruch Shulchan says that's not. He over here says that's not true. That's when the Shabur comes out. He says Yesh Machmirim. So to the Aruch Shulchan's Machmir, he's masbir that it doesn't that the shayla over there is because the pshat is you're giving shayla is a somewhat type of bailus, and therefore you're giving a chetzi you're giving him the chassan enough ownership of the ring to be mikudeshes. But you can't do that with Lulav and Esrog. It has to be lechem. That you can split bailus up, ownership up can be, well, you own it enough to go ahead and do this with it, do that with it. That's a concept. There's a concept of ownership like that. But that won't work. An Esrog, Labramina has to be 100% his. It's not going to work in that case. Shabur Paskins, therefore, if he taka lends it to the person and you took it, it's the only one you're going to be able to use, so you shouldn't make a bracha on it. It shouldn't make a bracha. It's a suffix. It's a suffix. It's a machlokes.
So if the whole ring is only a Shabbat Kruta, it might not work.
If what?
If the whole ring is only a Shabbat
there's still because you can not because you're splitting bailus and how much it's worth. It's ownership and for certain usages. So it's a little bit different. Okay, Dal Nasa Manasa Achzira, or is a Yotze Bogidei Chavaso Machziro. Giving it Amanasa Hachzir is he's Yotze Yidei Chavaso, and then he can machzir it. Shematan Masa Hachzir, Shmei Matana, it's a real Matana. He really taka owns the thing. For example, by Zimaka Bekach, there's a Sma which says that if someone gives someone, Matan Masa Hachzir gives him some land, he's allowed to go ahead and, bring in vehicles, construction vehicles, and dig the whole thing up because it's his, and then give it back. And it's not mazik, it's not anything. It's shmei matana, it's taka his. However, the problem by esrog is that fine, it's very nice. It's his. He could go ahead and use it and grind it up, or do what he plays baseball with it. It doesn't make a difference. But the problem is that if he doesn't give it back. Fine. So usually, if he doesn't give it back by anything that it's galil, I'm afraid that it was never his. So it's just like a pikadon. So if he was mafsid it, so that he was mazik the guy's object, so he has to pay. Here, fine. It's very nice. He's gonna have to pay for it, but it doesn't make a difference because if it was never his, then he was not yoytze the mitzvah. So therefore, he has to be very careful that it gets back to the owner. A feel nasan is dama. A feel nenas miyado. If it's nenas, it doesn't make a difference. And the stam das of the person is that before the guy's yotze the mitzvah, after he was yotze, it's a different story. But before he was yotze, I'm going to take it. I'll give it, for Nate. Tell him Asahachzir. He comes and gives it back. Sorry, I got caught up late at night. I forgot. Too bad. Then he's not yotze because if Talam Asahachzir is included in the idea that you're going to give it back to me for me to be yotze. If I'm not yotze, it could be even for halal. You don't give it back to me for halal. Then he also might be an issue, and he wouldn't be yotze. You have to give it back to him. Bizman, he wants to be yotze. But he can give it a matana amanas that he can't be makdish it. There is an idea in Choshen Mishpat that a person has to give it, when a person gives an actual matana, it has to be without strings attached. And he has to be full bailus, otherwise it's not a matana. A person gives a matana, but you could only, let's say, it used to be like, let's say the person's in-laws gives him a camera, right? Okay, to take pictures of it, so you can take pictures of the grandkids, right? So is he allowed to sell the camera? It's his. It's matana. No, he's not allowed to sell the camera because it wasn't really a matana. It's a shayla. Just he said, okay, I'm giving it to you, but it's not an actual matana until a person has full bias. He could sell it to someone else. Over here by Esrog, we say that's okay because just like with the Tanah Masahachsi, we do allow matanas which are somewhat limited, even if as long as it's a full matana, so too. It's considered full bailus, probably if you can't sell it because you won't be yotze, but al kupani you can go ahead and you can make it tonight, you can't be back, you can't give it to someone else because that's enough for Lulav and Esrog. Hey, nasan lo stam, if he just gives it to him without saying anything, he doesn't say the word shayla, then we say it's as if he said tell him nasahachzir. The mistama adas kei nasnilo kivin shetzarich lotzes bo she'ein lo acher. He doesn't have another arbor meaning. He means if Turns out I get it back. You didn't say anything. I thought it was mine. Too bad. You yotze. Hagar. V'tzarich lachzor v'lidno lebalov. And the person has to go ahead and give it back to the Bailim, b'matana. V'yeshi yeshal Bailim, v'yetubo. He has to actually give it back b'matana, like I said, not like the Sois. He has to actually give it back b'matana Gemura as well. In order to be Yotze, is b'matana. Not just here, take it. He has to. This is going to be yours. Miu afil lahachziro liyodo el la'acher v'acher la'acher. But even if he doesn't give it back to him, but it's matana. I'm not sahachzir. It's his. He's matana machzir to that guy, and then to that guy. Acher machzir le'baylim yotza. Then he is Yotze, because they're all by Mekochim. As long as he's sure it gets back to the guy, like he comes back, at the end of the day, did you ever get back to Plony? And he's like, oh my gosh, never got back to him. Went around the whole world, whole Kaisel, but too bad, not Yotze. But again, like I said, unless he stipulates that I don't want you to give it to anyone else, then he's allowed to give it to other people, even if there's an that he's going to be makbid on it though. If it's like super fancy esrog, take it, but be very careful with it, whatever. So that already it's kilobit t'nai that you can't go ahead and give it to anyone else. If you gave it to someone else, then it's the matana's bottle. But al-Kapanim stop as Lulav and esrog, you were allowed to give it around if you don't know that there's any. You don't see a reason why the person should be makbid on that. Right.